So
Yeah,
we can't be the.
I've only got like 350 million PPs or Pepes or
Oh
Pepe
yeah,
Pepe.
you've only got. See, okay, well, Jeff's holding the bag here
It's only worth
because
like $1,000.
he's he said wild. Yeah, I don't know how we got it. We got to talking about Ethereum, and then he brought up Pepe, and I remember I had Pepe at one point, and I lost money on it. I didn't make anything on that.
Basically break even right now. I mean,
Said
maybe
till it
maybe
hits. Oh man, you think it's gonna go to 25 cents? I don't even know if the market cap supports that move.
it might go to 0.00025.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I did
Oh
a video and released it this morning on a crypto update with the CFTC and SEC. You can see it on my
yeah.
screen right here. Right here, you can go watch this if you want to. Anybody? It's on my channel. It's right there.
If you look up Jeffrey
So
Turnmeyer on YouTube, nobody else will pop up. You're the only one.
yeah, I'm the only one. And if you want a shortcut, just go to jeffreytrader.com/YouTube.
Perfect. Well, yeah. So let's see. I was just kind of talking about the indices too in the start, and it's the indecision. We got some key economic news drivers, and oh, there's Pepe. Thank you for pulling that up. The trend line, yes.
It's in a squeeze.
It's in a squeeze. That squeeze is gonna go the other way. No.
Hey, they can go either way. That's the thing. I call it the watermelon seed squeeze, that
Yeah.
pattern where it's higher lows and lower highs. Because who hadn't squeezed a watermelon seed? Can you do that and aim with any degree of certainty? You have no idea where that sucker's going to go. And,
No idea.
so it could just, it could pop up, could pop down, or it could pop sideways, or it could just do both, it could just do some crazy stuff. So you never know when we got I call it a watermelon seed squeeze because that's kind of the way I feel about it. Price might pop, might drop, might ping pong all over the place, but when you wind it up tighter and tighter and tighter, it's pent up demand to do something, whether
Yeah.
that's pop or drop. I don't know. It's
Oh my
unreliable.
gosh.
Unreliable.
I mean, look at that. How much is that worth of a penny? 0.000001025.
Yeah, let's see. I think that's
I,
5 zeros, so knock two off to get the pennies. So 3 0 3. We'll see. What would that be? 1/10,000th of a penny or something like that.
oh my god. So I guess if you're looking for the ultimate potential Doge coin trade, you could buy $1.
I mean, it's
Put a
all just a
dollar in there.
joke. It's a joke
Yeah.
anyway. I mean, it's the whole thing.
It's a
There was
meme, right?
there's 429.69 trillion coins. So I mean, it was just a like 420.69. It's just a joke.
Well,
Like the
are
whole
they
thing.
burnt? Are they burning any of them? Like, are they trying to help the
I don't think
market
they've
cap
done.
anyways?
I think they just dumped them all in the market and just let it roll, baby.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to log into crypto.com and see how many I could buy for $1. Let's see.
All right. Well, Darkling's onto something. He said Bitcoin's going to hit 150K. He's probably right about that.
Well, I mean, that's been my prediction since 2022 when we made bottom.
Yeah.
Typically it goes 10 to 20x, whatever the low is in the cycle. The low was 15,700, give or take a few dollars, and depending on which exchange you look at. So 10 times up, 157,000. That's I mean, it's done that every single cycle so far.
Yeah.
It'd be disappointing if we don't do it this cycle, but there's always something new that can happen.
Into the 4 year cycle. We got Jack in here now. What's going on, Jack?
Not a whole lot. What's going on, Blake? What's going on, Jeffrey?
And we're just
Man, I tell you,
talking about some
yeah,
PP coins.
some some meme coins. Have you ever heard of Pepe, Jack?
I don't mess with that junk.
I was wanting to know what you were gonna say.
I don't get it. You just said there's 14 billion trillion thousand million coins out there.
Yeah. This is just this one crypto has got 420 trillion coins.
Yeah, no, this is junk. There's so much other good stuff out there that's not trash and garbage like this, right?
I agree.
Real thing out there. You
Yeah,
could cash flow stuff. You don't need to speculate. I mean, you might want to, but you'd be better off with a lottery ticket. At least that's going to pay off $1 billion, right? Uh,
Yes.
this is just a
one
waste of
US
time.
dollar gets you currently 92,500 of these babies.
See, that was the Shibu Itsu
Shiba
hook.
Inu coin. Yes, I
It's where
remember
you
that
could
one.
buy 10 billion of them for $1, and all it had to do
Yes.
was go up a micro penny, and you were a millionaire. That's the
Hey,
hook. The
that's the hook.
reality, not so much, my friend.
That's
I,
right. That's the hook.
yeah, crypto.com was running some sort of special and I bought like 200 million or whatever of those Pepe coins and they
For a
gave me like
penny?
another 100. No, I mean it was like almost $1,000, but you know, they gave me like another
Well,
150 million for free because I did that.
hold on, Jeff. We got it. Can you pull up CRWV?
Core weave. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a question in the chat. They're in a trade right now and they need some help.
Well, if you're long, good luck. If you're short, give it a little time. If you run out of time, I don't know.
He's in the 105 call that expires September 12th. That's like 3 days.
You're in trouble. There's not going to be much you can do. Jack and I have talked about this quite a bit. That just going long calls is risky, especially on volatile stuff.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work unless the stock is in a trend. This is not in a trend.
Well, it
This
is in a trend. It's the trend is down though.
Well, I think the story here is that the insiders finally got a chance to get out, and when their lockup period was over, they bailed hard and heavy. If I'm not mistaken, that was the news, and rightly they should. Right? Been waiting years to go public. Uh, right, you want to take that profit while you can, but that means this is still a story stock with drama and no trend. So buying a call here is a no go for me. But I'd love to sell naked calls on this thing because it ain't going up.
No trend, and they lose a lot of money, and money's expensive,
No
and
trend, man. You got to have the trend. You don't have a trend, you don't have anything.
Yeah. So AGD, if you're asking about that one, if you're what, so you're down about 50%, I would just cut that trade and move on.
Why you still can.
Yep. Don't hold it to zero.
But when you are buying calls or puts straight up, you have to be willing to lose 100% of it. So that way you can at least cut it to a 50% loss and roll on. But
Exactly.
you got to understand that is money that you can take a light or two and not cry about it. And I buy calls and puts sometimes too. So it doesn't mean like you never should. It's just that like 95% of the time it ain't going to work.
you got to be
Yep.
really, really, really sure.
Yeah. Almost 100% positive. You have to be like, must be like earnings or something for you to just open up a call or a put where
Or
you
a
know you're
trend,
going to get, or a
good trend.
trend.
Yeah. Like in
I've got some high
ABG.
probability patterns that work out more often than not, but you know, that's
That's
just
true.
you got to stick it to certain things.
No, Jeffrey, what
Yes,
about a rate
sir.
cut?
Rate cut. I mean, you know,
Blake,
What you got, Jack?
what about a rate cut? Both of you guys, let me hear.
Oh, you want to know what I think about if we're going to get a rate cut?
Yeah, Jeffrey, are we going to get one? And then Blake, are we going to get one?
well, the market has opened up the potential for a quarter point cut.
Ooh,
If we do a half a point cut, that puts us right down here, and that's right near the DGS2, which is the 2-year constant maturity rate. This orange is the Fed funds rate right now, up here at 4.33, which is the middle of 4.25 and 4.5. Quarter point cut puts us between 4 and a 4.25. Half a point cut, I don't see it happening. And I think the spicy thing is going to be what happens on PPI and CPI tomorrow and tomorrow and Thursday.
can't believe the
Absolutely.
CPI and the PPI. That's another joke. That's as much of a joke as a meme coin, the CPI and the PPI. Look,
Well,
the federal government just revised the jobs, right?
yep.
They can't get anything right ever.
Yep.
There's no way they're going to get a CPI and a PPI right on the first shot. Just
Yep.
not. So,
No, they're
Blake,
not.
you think we're getting a rate cut?
I mean, I was looking today on Polymarket at the odds, and it's like an 85% chance that we're gonna get a 0.25. So I'm gonna lean towards that. I think Powell's gonna cut 0.25.
Now, is the market already priced in the cut?
I think so because the odds are so high.
Yeah,
Like
so if
it,
we get a quarter point rate cut, that doesn't move the market
it
because it's already.
probably not. I think that's expected at this point. Yeah, here we go. What's Polymarket? 81%. So it went okay, so it went down a little bit. Probably because of the bad jobs data. That well, no, that wouldn't make sense because the bad job data would actually support a rate cut because that's what Powell's been saying for the last 2 or 3 years.
Quarter
We're
point
watching
went
the labor
down.
market.
Quarter point went down, but half a point or more went up.
And that's not priced in. So if he does that, then the market will move.
What about no change? What does that do to the market?
That's a surprise.
I think it's what we should do, but I don't
Probably
think we
right.
should change anything.
Leave it. Yeah, I agree. Leave it where it is. Because if he doesn't cut it, then it's going to look like he's doing it to spite Trump. If he
Right.
does cut it, it's going to look like the government, the Fed is no longer independent. And if he does cut it, there's a lot of people are going to say he's doing it because the economy is getting
Going
bad.
down.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting bad. So he's doing it to spur growth, and that could be taken as a sign that the market would go down on a cut, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
he's
Well,
too
check this
late.
out.
It's worse.
It
Check
probably
this out, right?
depends more on the guidance of what he says after the meeting rather than what he actually does.
That's how it is with earnings.
Mm-hmm.
What are you saying, Jeffrey?
Yeah, check this out right here. See this flat spot where we came up and we peaked? We hung out there for 350 days. Then we came down, we did this cut, and then we came down here. We've been flat for roughly 210 days. Check this out. This is what's scary. This right here that we did 2019, 2020, when everybody says it was a virus that caused the market to drop, but check out the same pattern right here. Same exact pattern. This, half the time, 175 days, half of 350. This right here, 91, 90, right in the 90, 91, 90, or, can't get it to click on the right thing. I think it's 105, which is right in half of 210. It's kind of scary that this pattern right here is twice as big as this pattern right here.
Interesting.
I don't know. I mean, say what you want, but we held rates here and held rates here, and then we held rates here twice as long, and we're holding rates here right now twice as long as that one and that one. Do we get that big? Uh-oh, in the market?
I don't
That's
know.
what's scary. That's what's scary to me right there. I see patterns when I look at things,
I
and
love fear. I
I
love
do too.
Yeah, I thrive in scary. I hope it gets wild.
Me too. It'd be nice to be able to get long again on some big names.
Yeah, shake some stuff loose.
Absolutely. Give us a real
so
opportunity. It's sometimes really hard to trade the market when it's like this. I mean, the VIX is low. I mean, I've been watching my algorithm. We've just been chopping for the majority of the day.
and grind it a little higher, a little higher, a little higher.
Just yeah, the grind higher continues. It's been like that, I feel like, for the last 3 years. I'm serious.
Yeah, look, I mean, look how fast we came up till we got right near the highs, and then it's just arcing off, flattening out.
But if you take out that V, it's on a normal trend. Just go
It
from that.
is.
Yeah. And that's
Well,
where they threw the baby out with the bathwater. They were saying
kind of
stop.
slowing down a little bit, slowing down just a little bit right now.
Nothing to do with tariffs, and everything got sold off. So that kind of put a crack in the market.
Because we were on this kind of channel climb rate, and then now we're stepped down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of buyer's fatigue in here.
Yeah. I mean, in gold too. What's gold doing today? It kind of topped out a little bit, didn't it?
I mean, we spiked a new high right before the market opened today on GC.
Hmm.
And we spiked that out right there. Got a little extra spicy, and I don't know. I think it needs a breather. That was kind of an exponential move from a couple, right there up to there. A little bit going vertical.
Yeah.
Things need a breather for a minute. I mean, look at that. The
Hmm.
last time we kind of straight up, and then we went sideways for 5 months, 6 months. Yeah, got to be careful on debt and gold's just going vertical and never looking back, because when we take these big moves up, does it have some more potential upside? Sure. It just copy that move. But how many times can we do that before we take a bigger step backwards?
Hmm.
Jack, I brought an
Something
interesting
tear.
thing to talk about, my man.
All right, lay it on me.
Found this right here.
Uh-oh. You knew sooner or later someone was going to come out with an ETF that wrote covered calls on IBIT.
Look at this. You know what?
Where'd you find this?
I don't even remember where I found this, but I ran across it. Somebody was saying, put all your money in this, baby. You don't have to worry about it. I was like, but
Oh,
here's the
here's
thing.
another high yield with another dropping NAV.
Guess
Right?
what, Jack? We can outperform this, and we can talk about it right here. This thing pays 9.76%.
We're
It's not
killing
too
that.
crazy.
Well, that's per year. You're making 40%
Yeah. I mean, and this does pay out weekly.
weekly, huh?
Yeah, weekly. So let's just let's take a look at this. What kind of performance we've had the last couple weeks. So 21 cents, another almost 20 cents. So balance the two together. That's 20 cents a week so far. 17 cents, a little lighter. 18 cents. That's getting to be kind of light there. So average roughly 19 cents a week times 4. We could round up to 20, say 80 cents a month. And you're letting somebody else manage it for you. So you're going to pay a fee down here. Expense ratio 0.75%. Pretty spicy.
Pretty hot.
Pretty hot. Now we look at IBIT. If we just looked at these, BCC, BCCC. So 100 shares to get this $20 a month, you're going to put $2,480 in there. If you did, say, 3 of them to get the same as roughly 3 of them, 300 roughly to get you the same as IBIT for 100 shares, you're going to be making roughly $240 a month. That's 80, 20-cent payouts, 4 a month. That's roughly 80 cents. Then we're going to do 3 chunks of that. So it's roughly $240. Jack, you think we can do better selling IBIT cover calls?
I know we can. Or naked puts, or both.
So let's take a look at IBIT. Take a look at IBIT. This is why you can't believe people on YouTube that are hyping. I think I saw that somebody hyping it on YouTube, actually. This is where I think I saw that. Yeah, BCCC. So IBIT right here. We'll jump down in here. We'll just do 100 shares of this one. Grab the options. If we just did it one time, if we did it weekly, we could come in here. We could outperform just selling it at the money put option.
On one shot.
One shot.
So this strategy would be 4 times better than BCCC per month.
And we got here to the end of the month, and we're already getting $2.
You're almost
we're
twice BCCC right there.
And we go out here a full 30 days, and we're actually outperforming right here and just doing one trade.
Which would be a naked put, folks.
Now you could buy the shares at 63 and sell 264 on the upside. You could
Wow.
outperform by almost 10%.
Just by being a little bit active, not hyperactive. Whereas you're paying BCCC to do these trades for you, you can do them yourself. Avoid the management fee, stay in control, and you got much better upside, even with naked puts and covered calls, than you do with BCCC. So don't fall for the yield trap.
You can go for the same, the same return basically, but have $1 of upside. So that adds an extra $100 to the potential kitty right there if you got called out at 64. So instead of 240, you get 240, and if you got called out, you get extra $100 added on. Now you got 340. Now you really killed it compared to riding BCCC. Anybody finding value in this? Let us know in the chat.
Yeah. Anybody if you're in IBIT, long the stock or naked put or covered call, let us know. This is a great one to trade. One of the best. It's
And
got
I
a high
love it.
beta. It's at an affordable price. It's not 300 or 400 a share. You can easily do naked puts on this for way under 10 grand. Covered calls for under 10 grand. You could buy the stock on margin for 3,032.50, 100 shares, and sell covered calls against that. This is a great one. No earnings surprises. No
I like
board of
this one too,
directors.
Jack.
Yeah. Oh, you ether. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of my new favorites right here. I've been rolling the 33 every week, collecting about $1. Just keeps
On a
rolling these
naked put.
puts.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Slightly in the money, but I'm actually out of the money with my cost basis.
Tony wants to see bit B. But what's the beta on this ether before we go to bit B?
Uh, since it's actually still pretty new, it doesn't have much of a beta to
60
report,
bucks. Okay.
but it is hanging out right at, for the beta we have, it's hanging out 1.3 right
That's
now.
good. That's good. All right. What did Tony want to see? Bit B?
Yeah, bitwise. Now here's the big thing here. They don't have weekly options.
Well, they
These
would.
options,
They would. People say, why don't they? They would if there was a market for them. There's no market for them. The market makers would make a market in anything they think you would buy and sell.
there's no
So
volume, there's no open interest, not many people playing here. So the premium's gonna be less because there's less people playing. And it's
yeah,
gonna be harder to get fills. You're gonna get crappy fills.
you're
You
going
look
to
at some
wait
of these
longer. Yeah, to get a profit. It's
look at
better.
some of these bid ask spreads are 20 cents. So if you made a oopsie, you automatically lose 10% of your money.
And if you're using a stop, you're immediately going to get stopped out. So don't use a stop when you buy a call. Got a question here uh, from Jeremy. Do you guys like straight level one calls and puts on IBIT if managed right? I don't like buying straight up calls or puts. I think you can make more money starting off with a naked put
I
and
I mean,
long way home naked. I mean covered calls.
simply depends on the strategy. I have a strategy that sometimes buys a long call at strategic opportunities on IBIT, but it's all in timing. And it takes a technical pattern, a high probability entry to get the continuation. And if you don't have that in place, well, might not work out for you.
And you're certainly not buying the weekly calls.
No, I'm usually buying a couple months out when I do it.
Hmm. Lots of time. That way theta doesn't wreck your position.
So Darling Dragon says naked puts and covered calls take higher options permission. Naked puts do, Darling Dragon. That's level 3. But covered calls, that's level 1. That's baby stuff. Covered calls.
And if you just want to do this kind of thing without worrying about options, if you want to grab some leverage, there's tickers you can just buy some shares. Don't have to worry about options to catch leveraged upside.
Now,
BitX is
Leo,
one of those.
Leo, you never have to apologize or say you're sorry on this show. We're here. We don't want to talk over people's heads, so we'll explain it to you. Uh, Jeffrey, Leo wants to know what is a naked put.
Yeah, I mean, we are on the profit panel, not on our normal Market Master show. Jack and I do a show. We talk about how to sell credit premium all the time, and we
Wednesday,
are on
Friday.
Wednesday and Friday at 11:30 a.m.
So
If you want to come join us.
explain to the good folks at home what is a naked put.
Yeah, we can go back to over here to IBIT. And so if you don't own a stock, you don't own anything, and you come in here and you sell a put, you don't have anything as collateral except maybe some cash in your account. You sell that baby right there. It's out of the money.
The order looks exactly like sell to open IBIT, and then you pick your expiration. This would be October 10th, and then you pick your strike, and then you put it in at the market or on a limit.
Yeah, right now I'd probably go with a limit somewhere around 251, 252, somewhere kind of in the middle here.
Now, what you've
And
done is you've said, hey, you're getting paid for a promise. You're going to get 250 bucks. And you're saying, if IBIT goes to 63, then I'll buy 100 shares. That's it. So you could pick any strike you want, any expiration you want, and you're getting paid for a promise. Now you've got the obligation to buy the stock at 63, and that's it. If it comes down to 63 and you get the stock, you kind of got it gifted to you, and you can turn around and start selling covered calls against that. If you don't get the stock assigned to you by the 10th, then you keep the 250 bucks and do it all over again the following Monday. How's that sound, Leo?
now, the caveat here, you do have to have
That's
either
one
cash
out.
or margin in your account to buy 100 shares per option you sell. And at the 63 strike, that is $6,300 of cash or margin. We call it a
Minus
cash secured
minus
put.
250.
Yeah, minus 250. Some brokers let you do the minus 250, some don't, I've
Yeah.
noticed. Jack.
Now here though, if you got put the stock at 63, your real cost basis is going to be 63 minus 250. So hard to lose here.
Yeah, your actual cost to get, if you got put at 63, your actual cost would be 60 bucks and 50 cents per share.
Now, Jeremy, you don't have to pay that up front. You just got to have that in your account, that cash.
Yeah, they
And if
reserve
you
it in
get
your
the
account.
stock, then the broker's going to use that cash to pay for the stock. You just have to have that on deposit. And if you're doing it on margin, you only need 20% of that down. Now, Bodine's getting funny. He said we said naked butt, but we only said naked put, Bodine.
And
Vertical spread.
you could. I feel like that's wasting money,
Yeah,
especially on stuff like IBIT that I'm pretty sure is going higher, at least for now.
yeah.
But
You can do
you can
bull
virtual.
put spread. Yeah. You could take the shares. Yeah. Bull put spreads are great. But, Jeffrey and I like to start off the game using the wheel strategy. And the very number one trade to initiate the wheel is to sell a naked put.
Sell that baby.
Sell it.
And I'm actually I'm on this week's 6150 right here for me.
Yeah.
I I actually went a little closer to the money on Friday when I sold it, and I was at a 98% ROI when I sold it on Friday.
Killer. I'm still out to, I'm still long the stock, and I've sold the 70 and the 73 calls. And I've got no more naked puts because I got enough stock here. I need to trade out of some of it before I go back in.
I've actually got some, let's see, go to my trades tab here, make sure it's refreshed fresh here. And I've been selling puts on this baby for a while. Just This is a real live verified example right here. This is my real account tied on KInfo verified trades, publicly posted. If you want to see them, you can go onto KInfo and look me up. And I sold these right here, July 25th. Sold 4 of them for 60 cents a piece. For the next week, August 2nd, 64.50 strike.
Hmm.
Three of them went out for nothing. Just got to keep all the money. One of them assigned me 100 shares and cost me 6,450 minus the 60 cents right there. So 63.90 was my cost in these.
And
And
you're selling calls now against that?
And since I only got one of them, I've been selling puts and calls against it. Selling
Nice.
puts to get more shares. But right here, I turned around and sold a call on the next pop, got 38 cents more, closed it for a penny right there. So collected 37 more bucks on that. And then rock and roll along here, I sold another put against it at the 59 strike, collected 41 more cents. And this week I have a 61.50 put sold against it, and I don't have any upside calls because I just been I didn't want to get limited. I feel like a pop might be imminent in IBIT, and I didn't really want to
I did
limit
the
my
cover.
upside.
I did the covered calls because I started out with 200 shares and then I got up to 1,200 and then I got up to 1,600 using the challenge that I'm doing with the cash generation blueprint. And then it went from 1,600 to 3,300 shares I have now. So I'm good on stock. If I could use getting called out, I'll get back in using naked puts, but I'm pretty loaded up. 3,300 is a good sandwich for me.
I only have 100 so far. I'm willing to go up to 400 for me and my account size, and I'm not wanting to put more than about 15% of my account in one of these positions, and that's for a particular challenge that I'm doing called the 50K challenge here. And just in case anybody's wondering, my all-time, my year-to-date profit right now, $25,000 doing this kind of thing
Dang,
in,
dog.
in this account. That's a pretty nice little number right there. And I've only been
That's
doing
nice.
it. I just started this April tax day, April 15th.
Very
So
nice.
4 months, almost 4.5 months, 94% win rate, average about 246 bucks per trade.
Now, if do you when you manage your portfolio, do you have it diversified to where you don't want too much in this and too much in that? I say that because mine is not diversified. I don't believe in it. I've got massive positions in you know three stocks, 3 or 4 stocks, but it's not balanced at all. How about
Now,
you?
right now, this is 115. This account balance is 115K, and I want to keep it balanced about 6 positions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just me. That's just the way I do it, and that gives me somewhere around 18K per position.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of these positions I have are up to 24K. A little richer, and then like IBIT is running a little light right now at only 6,000, 6,300 exposure roughly. And I have a second put sold against it, so it's really 12K tied up in that one. I
Yeah,
mean, everybody manages a little bit different. I'm trying to balance about 6 positions so that if anything gets jammed up, I still have 5 more kind of running for me, generating
yeah.
income.
Last year I took tremendous heat from some people for having way too much NVIDIA and way too much AVGO. Uh, totally unbalanced. And now I'm not taking any heat. Because both of those things perform so well, right? Jack,
Well, I
you're
mean,
not diversified. You got way too much. Everybody's saying, way too much NVIDIA.
I've got a position on Docu. I've got a position on Chewy. I've got a position on Dollar Tree. I've got a position in IBIT. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of the 6 right there that I have open. And I have CMG is another one I have, Chipotle, and DJT is another one I have open right now. I've been trading other stuff and I kind of rotate around. Like Gap, I was hitting it every week for a while and then I kind of stopped after earnings. I have some other accounts that are trading Gap, but I stopped in this account to kind of go after some other opportunities. So,
So, Darling Dragon says Nvidia's about to drop. Too many competitors now. Darling, I've been hearing Nvidia's about to drop for how many years now? I don't know. Yeah, it's probably going to go up and down a little bit, but it won't be due to competition. They don't have any competition. There's other people that make chips, but Nvidia is so far out ahead of everybody. It's a joke.
well, okay, so competition, yeah, like NVIDIA basically has 100% of that GPU AI training market, and AMD is basically going to try to take 5 to 8% of that market. So, gosh, they're going to lose, 5 to 8% of their market, but hold on to 95%, 90 to 95% of the market. I think they can make some money still, holding that much of the market.
This shift, that's his big thing. He's always 2 steps ahead of everybody, and nobody knows the market better than him. Maybe
It's funny,
and
Jack, you may not have known this. The AMD CEO and NVIDIA CEO are first cousins.
yeah, they look a lot alike too. But if I
So,
was her, I would totally try to beat this guy if it was my cousin, right? I
yeah.
mean, she's competitive or she wouldn't be a CEO, but there'd be no way if I had a cousin, boy or girl, that I would let beat me in the same industry. No way.
You can say XAI is coming, but XAI, one, is not public. Two, they don't actually make GPUs yet. They're still buying NVIDIA's H200s right now, and they're buying them by the truckload. I mean, buying them by the data center load right now.
Yep.
So they're still a big
Believe it or not,
customer.
people are still bothering Jensen Wang to get chips. Uh, Elon Musk called him up and wanted like a personal favor, give me some chips, and he tells him, we're all sold out. I couldn't give them to you even if I wanted to. That just shows you how tight the market is for Nvidia's not just the chips, but like I say, they're developing software. They're moving and grooving.
Yeah, see, this is XAI's cluster in Memphis. It's built by Supermicro with NVIDIA GPUs. It's not their custom hardware. So they have 100,000 H100s trying to deploy H200s. So there you go. You got to be careful. I mean, sure, the competition brewing. I mean, Google's got a AI chip. They run a lot of their own data centers on their own chip, but you know, they're not really competition for NVIDIA.
No, no, nobody is. It'll be a long while. Like I say, because they shift, they're very nimble, and he lives it. I don't know anybody else as far as jockeys go that are as deep into it as he is. But yeah, AMD, his cousin, man, I would turn it up a notch. I would do anything to beat him, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Millions of
like,
employees. I mean, I don't know what it would take, but I'd have him in my dust.
but when you have 100% market share, you only have market share to lose, really. I mean, and I'm not saying that they're going to lose any major market share at all, but giving up a few percentage points, that's huge for AMD.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
and
can
also
they can make 100% gains in that market several times over and not really make a dent in Nvidia at all.
and not make a dent in their revenue. They just raise prices when they get a new chip. And one thing they have that nobody else has is innovation. I'll just tell you, talent and innovation, right there. And you can't compete with that. You might be able to compete with a product, but you can't have talent if you don't have talent, right? No one is as talented as him, passionate, and their ingenuity. That's all unique. Can't compete with that.
And I saw some interesting technology this weekend using solar power, but it was storing it in, I guess, heat cells inside like shipping containers. And then they were using Stirling engines to provide the power. And you could buy these on megawatt scale, not using nuclear. It was an interesting technology. It made it through the night, made it for a couple days once they got heated up. So to answer the question about nuclear and stuff like that, there's other technologies that are on the, kind of coming to the front to help address all this. It's just, what's going to hit, what's going to be the most beneficial. I'm not sure. That's
Nuclear. Nuclear. The only reason nuclear isn't further ahead now is because it has the worst public relations problem in the world when they had, a couple meltdowns. And that was all thanks to the oil industry funding the perception that nuclear is not safe. But it's probably the future. They're gonna get it all cooled off and let it run. How about we take a look at Hood?
yeah, that's been rocking and rolling.
It got added to the S&P 500, I believe.
Yep, sure did.
Now, anytime that happens, the stocks that get dropped from the S&P go down, and the ones that get added go up because everybody that's trying to compete with the S&P, every hedge fund, they have to buy those stocks. So, two things to take away from this: the S&P 500 is rigged. It's legal manipulation. And the reason they do it, they don't just keep 500 in there, is because they want this index to go up all the time. So they kick out. It's true, Blake. It's legal manipulation. I mean, you can look it up, but I'm telling you. So
This
they
had
kick
me
out
cracking up.
the stocks. They kick this. It's true. They kick out. They get together and they go, listen, this SMCI, the bunch of this is crap. The S&P 500 is not going to go up till we get rid of this stuff. So they kick it out. Then they add the stuff that is going up, and then the S&P SPY just keeps going up. It's legal manipulation, and they tell you ahead of time what they think they're going to drop and what they think they're going to add. So if you ever wanted to buy a straight call or a put, that's probably the closest thing to the highest conviction trade you could get. When they cut one loose, everybody else cuts it loose, and when they add one, all the hedge funds buy it. It's like if that ain't illegal manipulation, I don't know what is.
So
But it's
you're thinking
there.
Hood's going higher.
Yeah, it's going higher because it got added to the index. The index will pull it up, but it also has a tremendous amount of story to be told in their product. They're going to have a market like Perplexity. You'll be able to bet on how many times Jerome Powell says recession, things like that, everything. Hood will have the same thing that Poly Market has. So news wise, Hood's great. They're rocking and rolling. They're putting every other broker dealer to shame. Schwab should be embarrassed. Hood has just taken the game over.
Yeah, this was an interesting technology I found over the weekend that needs no special materials at all. Needs no hardly any copper, hardly any metals that are restricted from import. Needs no lithium, no cobalt, none of that stuff. And it just uses heat from the sun, stores it, and runs it on a Stirling engine power generator. And this is megawatt scale stuff. Can be built very cheaply and deployed very quickly. I thought it was
Is that a
interesting.
real thing or is that just a mock up? Because
No,
that looks Chinese. That looks like a whole fake Chinese.
these there's a lot of renderings, but they do have real working existing facilities out in the Southwest right now.
Yeah.
And it's an American company, not Chinese. They're not importing anything. It's all built here in the United
You're
States.
sure it's not an empty box and just set up to look like something.
I don't
That
know. I mean, there's not really
before,
much to it though. It's very simple. One of the highest performing nuclear companies uses a very similar concept, except they put the nuclear in the box and uses a Stirling engine. And there's no service, no parts, no external input output, except you take the power out. So
yeah.
it's an interesting thing that some of these
You know,
companies are coming up with.
it really is because if you think about this AI thing, if there's a bottleneck in the whole infrastructure, it's in power, it's in energy, right? Like, they were talking about Microsoft or Meta wanting to spend X amount of dollars, $700 billion. Well, he couldn't spend it even if he wanted to because there's not enough energy to make it all happen. That's where the
Yeah.
bottleneck is right now. That's where the problem is. They gotta do cold fusion, as Darling Dragon says, or they got to do something.
Yeah,
Molten
these
salt,
guys,
tapping into lava, or I don't know, something.
these guys are going to build a $1.7 billion fuel recycling facility here in right here where I am.
What is fuel recycling? Like garbage
Well,
bags?
no, all the nuclear waste that we have sitting at all the, nuclear power plants, basically instead of taking it and putting it in the ground like we've been talking about for 50 years, we've just been piling it up at the nuclear power plants for the last 50 years. And this company's going to actually start recycling it into fuel that we can use again
Wow.
instead of it just sitting in casks at the nuclear power plants, which is
That's
what it does right now.
that's technology right there. They're turning something that was worthless, or even probably had to pay to get rid of it, worse than worthless.
You're
Now
paying to
they're
store
turning
it.
that into gold. Yeah, that's energy technology for you right there.
So
They'll
these guys
figure it
just announced that 4 days ago that they're going to build this facility right here in Knoxville.
Now, Rob Royero doesn't want to live next to that. See, that's the thinking that this stuff is dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's
Get the
dangerous,
voting.
maybe it's not. I mean,
Hey,
everybody says not in my backyard, right? You don't want to have a landfill, but you're more than willing to throw something away.
yep.
Um, you want to flip the lights on, but you don't want to have a power plant next to you. I mean, I don't
I think
know.
I think Bodine has the technical solution. He says if they can harness the greenhouse gases from all the farting and burping cows do, we could have free energy and save the ozone layer. Well,
That's
that's it.
that, that's
Case
what
closed.
Elon plans on launching his rockets with that the cow farts and burps, I think.
Bodine has settled it. It's over. Okay, that's it. Harness greenhouse gases from farting and burping cows.
Yeah, and Broncover says, I've lived here in Knoxville, which Oak Ridge has been here my entire life. I haven't grown a third eye or extra ear or anything yet. No second belly button.
What, that
So
stuff's just been sitting up above the ground?
yeah, like at all these nuclear facilities, the waste has been sitting in in casks above the ground,
What kind
and
of cask?
they're lead line. They call it a cask, but it's a high. I actually have one at my house. Funny enough. Long story short, I have a nuclear warhead shipping container sitting at my backyard. Um,
Cool.
it looks like a beer keg, but it weighs about 6 times more or 10 times more.
Now, the
And
reason you have that is because,
because I have a friend that was demilitarizing Russian nuclear warheads, and was like, it's like, hey man, if I know anybody that might want this, it'd be you. And I was like, yeah, cool. So I have one of those sit in my backyard.
is it legal?
Yeah, I mean it's not radioactive. It's just filled with lead.
Oh,
It looks like a beer keg and it's filled with lead. So I know a little bit about this stuff just from happenstance.
funny. And you still got those two hand grenades from the Vietnam surplus, don't
I don't know what you're talking about.
you?
Anyway, everybody having a good time today. Welcome. It's a Tuesday. Jack and I love just talking about the markets, and yeah, this is what we do on Market Masters too. So you're welcome to come hang out with us tomorrow on Market Masters also.
Darling Dragon says she'd play with the hand grenades. Hey, once the pin is out, the pin is out. All right. You can ask my cousin Johnny about that. He, back in that Indiana cornfield, is dangerous.
And Oklahoma might have some further upside to go. We'll see. 200 might be in the cards.
Do they have any revenue? Some of these little energy companies had nothing.
And right now, their revenue's looking kind of sketchy. Let's see what they got.
The problem, this thing just has a stretchy valuation. It just keeps getting stretchier and stretchier and stretchier. And the first time they do announce something, when people think they're going to be profitable and they don't, it'll be look out below.
I think the big deal for them right now is that $1.7 billion deal with the Department of Energy to build that recycling facility. So
Yeah.
other than that, they don't make much money. They don't got much going on. No sales, no earnings, no sales, just burning cash.
And speaking of no earnings and no sales, those would be the first companies that get whacked hard if we turn a little bit bearish or if we go into a full temporary bear market. Those will be the ones that get absolutely killed, is the ones that don't have any earnings. No PE is going to the floor.
And very few employees, so all this is gonna be contract work to build this facility. So if something goes wrong, they don't got much to back up on. So should be interesting. But
What's the daily
others,
volume on this puppy? I know it was getting traded like crazy. I don't know if it's still.
let's see what we got. Average daily volume, 14 million shares.
That's good.
Last the beta sitting at 2.5.
Yeah, Jim says the small modular nuclear reactor companies are getting lots of government and private equity dollars. Yeah, they are. They're getting the blessing of the government, and that's why this whole nuclear public relations issue has to be turned around. I don't think it's as dangerous even as it used to be, and there's been all kind of new technology applied to it. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good thing, Jim. Mobile energy, right? Through those little reactors. They're portable.
Hold on, I was trying to find something really quickly. Yeah, these guys right here. Maybe heard of this name before, Westinghouse.
Are they
They
still
have this.
around?
Yeah, they have this small nuclear reactor in a container.
I
They
thought
can
they
just
just made
ship
light
it to
bulbs.
you. Guess what? they they actually build all the nuclear reactors that are in U.S. submarines,
Wow.
and we've never had a single one of those melt down or have a problem. And those sailors are on talk about living close to it. They live right there with that nuclear reactor 24/7 for months on the end, and we've not had a problem out of any of them. So, who might be able to build one of these reactors that doesn't have a problem and can sit any place you have a substation?
Okay. Jim says I spent my 50-year career in nuclear safety and nuclear security. So, Jim, let's ask you, do you think it's getting safer, nuclear energy? We got a 50-year career nuclear guy here.
Yeah.
So if he says it's getting safer, I'll take it his word for it. And he's not saying it's safer. So yes, it
There you
is
go.
safer. All right. There you go, folks. It's getting safer.
Yeah. SMR here has a move down, has a retrace, might have further to go. We may have gone too far too fast and might need a bigger correction here.
Any
So
revenue here? No.
be careful. Let's see
No
what we got
revenue.
on revenue. Revenue front for SMR.
Yeah, Jim says especially the small modular reactors. Yeah, those are going to be the solution.
Price of sales is 80. So 80 years of sales just to cover the share price right now.
Too
Sounds
much.
like one to get hit on any kind of
Yeah,
hiccup in the market.
they're going to come after these. I'll tell you, in 2022, that might have been the best year ever for shorting stocks. And the first ones they came after the market as sellers, rabid, vicious sellers with no mercy, were triple digit stocks, namely tech, triple digit stocks that had no earnings. And that'll be the case again.
Yeah, I had a list. I just went to FinViz and made a list of things that were over 30x on price to sales. PS, most people talk about price to earnings. I always look at price to sales. Things that were over 30 and above 100. I built that list. I think it was 80 names on that list, and I had an 85% hit rate
Hmm,
as far as them going down after 1 year.
nice.
So 85% hit rate on that list. So only 15% of them could maintain the hype.
Now,
So if,
in this market though, I don't short stocks in a bull market, and I don't really go long in a bull market, and that's like a market driven strategy. So whatever the broad markets are doing, that's the position I'm taking. But shorting is great at the right time because stocks fall faster than they go up. So you always got that going for you. But I only do it personally, like I say, when all three major market indexes are below my three moving averages.
But look how
Otherwise,
fast that, I mean, that one right there dropped and then accelerated. And
yeah,
then it was all over. So
that's
you
an
got to watch out.
overreaction. That's an emotional overreaction right there. People didn't know what is a tariff, right? So they just sold everything. They even sold like DraftKings and stuff that didn't have any issues with the tariff. This
But funny
total
enough,
overreaction,
it found support right on one of my support lines right there.
right at it. That thing's killer.
So I, if it busts through on one time frame like we did on the daily, I just move up to the next time frame, which in my case is a 3 day. And then when we started pushing on down, and I just flipped up to a weekly, and they just happen to be kind of stacked on top of each other right there. I thought that would be a pretty good support. So a lot of things I went long on right there.
Leo asks, what are my three EMAs? I like the 23, the 54, and the 208. So those are what I call trend points. If DIA, SPY, and QQQ are above all three of those, market's bullish. They're below all three of those EMAs, the market's bearish. And if they're trapped in between, you can go long or short. You're in a choppy market.
And here you
What
go.
EMAs do you like, Jeffrey?
If you want the code for mine, let's see if I can find it right
Of
here.
course, yours would be coded, right?
Right here it is. I've got the 144 and the 169. Those two together make this orange line that I use right here. These are EMAs. 144, 169 right there.
Difference between an EMA and an SMA is the exponential moving average smooths it out a little bit. That's all.
Well, it places more importance. And what it does is this current candle has more emphasis, more influence on the EMA than the one that's back 144.
Yeah.
So it uses the last 144, but this one back here has the least amount of influence on the current price, whereas the current one has the most influence on the current price. It's all based on exponential, averages and stuff like that. Gets into the weeds, but and funny enough, financial markets and scientific researchers do EMAs differently. So there's debate among statisticians about how to actually do it properly, of course. And but a simple moving average just places the same. It just takes the last however many candles, divides by the number of candles, like 144, and they're all treated equally. Now, that's a difference between a simple and an EMA.
Okay, Lynn says, what are my EMAs again? So my short-term trend point is the 23-day EMA. The intermediate term trend point is the 54, and the long-term trend point is the 208. And I have them all on the same screen, so you can easily see where is the stock relative to those EMAs. But first, you want to always use a market-driven strategy, and that is where you're going to position yourself in the same direction as the broad market. Again, that's critical. That means you're not shorting in a bull market, and you're really not trying to go long in a bear market. And the way you stay market driven is to check if you don't know where these three indexes are, DIA, SPY, and QQQ. If you don't know where they are relative to their trend points or their EMAs, then you got to check that. But that's what I do. So if I'm using credit spreads, for example, every single week, I'm going to use the bull put spread when the market's bullish and the bear call spread when it's bearish. Real simple. But stay away from shorting in a bull market, and you'll be way more healthier at the end of the year.
Righty.
See, everybody's got a different combination of EMAs that they like. Blake, he likes the 9, the 50, and the 200. The 200 is extremely popular, extremely with institutions and the hedge boys, all that. They love that basically the 50, the 100, and the 200.
And
But
a lot of those are simple because when you look on here, there's actually an index that shows you the S&P 500 stocks above the 50-day moving average right here. And go back to a daily chart and turn off my log mode. So I actually use this as a market dashboard. You look at the number of stocks, S&P 500 stocks above the 50-day. This tends to be a giant market oscillator. When you look at it long term, I've got these two red lines because when we get to extremes, we tend to reverse. So we've already tagged the top. What's next? Probably coming back to the bottom.
that's the cycle.
And we go from the top to the bottom, back to the top, back to the bottom.
Now, see
We
how
just
that's a pattern. That's why you recognize that, right? Pattern recognition, my friend.
do this over and over and over and over in the markets. You know what happens? Go up to the 200-day, same kind of thing happens. I don't have the marks on here, but it does the same kind of pattern.
Yep. Barbara asks a hypothetical question. Okay, you ready? If someone were to buy a 2 option order on IBIT, with the 2 being for September 19th, the 63.50 put at 1 for 155, and the 63 call for $1.63, the cost is 5 cents. So if it's in profit range, what would be the best way to exit the trade early?
All right, September 19th. And we bought the 63.50 at 155. So you bought, let's see, buy 2 option order. Let's see. It's got to be a put order, right?
The 63.50 put and the 63 call.
Oh, 63, put and call.
I don't know
Well,
how
how is the cost 5?
Yeah,
You had to sell one.
You would have had to sell one for more than you paid. So you'd either have a 5 cent debit or a 5 cent credit, but I can't see that from these. One would have to be a sell to open, Barbara, and one would be a buy to open. If you had 2 sells or 2 buys, your cost would be just what you paid, $1.63 plus $1.55.
Yeah,
So
it looks like with a cost, she was buying that one and selling this one. Sell that one, buy that one. And let's see, there's somewhere on here, there's a option builder, order builder thing. See if I can find it. Keep changing the buttons on me here. I don't see it. The order builder. There we go. See if we can build a strategy. It might be locked in here. And how do we add an option to this thing? Long call, long puts, long straddle, long strangle. Do we have any custom buttons? No. Cool.
Barbara says she has not done the trade, but it's a new screen on Robinhood, and seeing both options made me curious. Open the long call screen.
Call string. I mean, you've got short call, long call, create strategy. Let's see if it'll let me do it. Add a 63.50 put. So if you bought one and sold one, you'd be pretty bullish, really. If you're buying a call and selling a put, it'd be just getting a little extra juice on the upside there. You can see it kind of plays out and then comes back. So you need to be really, really bullish, basically. Stay above 63. For a 5 cent cost, that means you got $5 risks. You need it to go up at least 5 cents to be making money. And you're just really bullish. If it goes against you, you're going to be you're going to lose the call premium, and then you could get put the shares, but you'd be out the call premium. So you're basically getting no downside benefit doing it that way.
Now, speaking of benefit, you have something of tremendous benefit you want to share with the good folks at home.
Yeah, I mean, um, I've been talking technical stuff and math, and if anybody couldn't figure it out, I build my own indicators. I do a lot of this stuff on my to try to put high probability patterns. And for years, I thought I just needed to pick up more information, Jack. I mean, we discussed this. I
Yeah.
thought I just needed to learn more about the market, but really, some kind people like Jack, other gurus. I came up like a lot of you, just buying stuff from gurus and try to pick up what I could here and there. I thought I just need to learn more, but then finally I kind of locked in to one piece of information that just kind of unlocked the whole market for me.
Cool.
And during COVID, I happened to be in the right place, right time, talking to the right people, and took about $250,000, about $250,000 of my family's hard-earned money, and turned that into a family fortune, about 1.4 million, in about a 30-day time frame.
Wow.
30 days. And the biggest trading day in there for me, there were big win days, there were big loss days. My biggest up day, $856,000 in one single day.
Whoa. How did you
And
feel after that? Did you feel like you're on cloud nine and you know it all? Or how you feel that you
you,
got lucky? How'd that make you feel? That's a big hit. I
you,
haven't
you know
had a
what?
hit that big of a day.
You know how it makes you feel at the end of an $856,000 day? It felt like I had been running all day. When I sat down on the couch in the evening, it felt like I had been running constantly. My heart rate was high all day long. It felt like I had done nothing but run a marathon all day long. And
Cool.
I just sat down at the end of the day and I was just like,
Well,
I was out.
but you also know, hey, what I'm doing works. That's got to
it,
be a tremendous boost, confidence boost, right?
yeah. And, a friend of ours whose name is Rob Booker, I was communicating with him at the time. He asked me if I'd like to do this kind of thing, teach other people how to make money in the market, how to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, here we are at elevated levels again. I just showed you the pattern that I saw in front of COVID on that GGS2 chart earlier. That interest rate chart, when I was talking about it being twice as long, twice as fat. Um, click on the right button. The top twice as long, this twice as long, right here in the, I'm kind of like on edge. Are we about to get the same kind of reaction here that we had back here? I don't know. Lightning's not supposed to strike twice in the market, but maybe we get that again. Maybe we have another big event. This was COVID, but what's this might be? And market math is kind of these patterns I've been talking about, the math, the proportions, the all those things. That's kind of what unlocked it for me, Jack. And who in the crowd here wants to know a little bit more about this kind of stuff? Anybody? Anybody at all?
Hey, anytime a guy cracks the code from 250,000 to 1.4 million, everybody
I just
wants to
got
know that.
I just get lucky sometimes.
And no, that's not luck. That's knowing what you're doing. Luck is when you hit it on an option once or twice. You don't go from 250 to 1.4 on luck.
Yeah, I mean I joke about it being luck. It's not luck,
It's
everybody.
not.
I
Let's show them how it's done, man. Blake wants to know. I want to know. Everybody want. Who wouldn't want to know how to go from 250 to a 1.4 million in a year
let
would
me
be great. How about 30 days? All right.
30 days. Think about that. Think about what kind of life-changing
All
stuff
right.
that would be for you and your family.
How did you do it?
So,
Patel wants to know. Here we go, Patel.
yeah, so I'm going to tell my story a little bit and maybe give you an opportunity to hitch your wagon to my train if you want to.